You learn from your mistakes, I was often told by my elders and betters as I grew up. Well, if that's true, then I must be one of the most learned people around, given my eagerness to make a hames of most of the tasks I attempted on lesser spotted Ulster over the years. But those tasks were a necessary part of my continuing education in rural customs and practices. And those customs and practices differed greatly from county to county, even from parish to parish. Take the ancient and essential set of skills involved in the harvesting of turf, for example. In most parts of the country, you want a high bank and a turf spade. But on the Antrim shore of Lough Neagh, around Portmore, if you want to harvest turf, well, first you had to make it, and then you had to bake it. It's a good job that John Hannon knows his way through the bog, because apart from the natural hazards of this terrain, there are some man-made watery graves as well, the results of a kind of turf digging you'll only find in low-lying areas, like the shores of Lough Neagh. So you have a trench of water running right along there. Right. That's normal flooding, ordinary, natural flooding, is that right? That's right. And whenever you cut this down, and you take a wee hole in that, let the water run. Let the water through. Ah, see, right. That's right. But the water's too low at the moment for that. It's too low to do that at the moment. So we're doing it artificially. Right. Oh, I'll tell you one thing, John. This kind of turf cutting is much more labour intensive than that, isn't it? There's more work on it. More work on it. Get in there with the rubber boots and tramp through it. Right. So. But you didn't have rubber boots whenever you were doing this? Oh no, you'd have done it, took the boots off and done it in your bare feet. Mammy! That's more like it. Right. Yeah. Wouldn't he'll cool that out. Doesn't want to come. What do you want? You want to do all this bother? Right. You should buy coal or I suspect you're going to tell me to get my hands dirty very shortly. That's right. Yeah. Right. Right. And then we'll take that out. Not required. And then you get, you do this kind of business first. You do it with the two hands, aye. With the two hands? Yes. Why the two hands? Well, to form the dots. Like that there, you mean? No. Or like this? Oh, that way there, yeah. Right, right. Ugh. That feels like stuff you could put in your face. It feels so creamy. I know that's a wee bit, square them up, may as well do the job right. Okay. Now, just mark them out across the ends. You'll be going back to the house or something and you'll be telling the neighbour there was a fella up in the moss today and you'd think he was doing this all of his life. There's a craftsman in it. Oh, good man in it. Good man in it. Bit of a puke, mind you, but he was a craftsman. How's that? That's dead on, that's a good job. Is it?
This method relied greatly on warm weather to dry out the turf, of course, not always guaranteed in this country. That's why, when a good spell did come along, strength in numbers was the order of the day. Neighbours would help each other out in the bog, each man bringing his own spade, and the man whose turf bank it was providing the tea and scones. Drumskinny is a little finger of Fermanagh prizing apart the borders of Tyrone and Donegal, and it's here that I studied turf cutting at a higher level. Now this particular scene, men combining in a kind of mehel to go to the moss to dig a neighbour's turf, is a very old one. It may not be obvious to the casual observer, but one of these men is a novice in such matters. I didn't know, for example, that one of the first things you have to do is light the fire for the tea. And then there are technical things you have to learn about turf bank etiquette and the organisation of labour.
And a wheeler out.
A wheeler out's the man, he's doing in the shop for the barfa. You could call him the donkey if you like.
The donkey, right, okay. I'll do the bit of a donkey for you later on. So you've got three men doing that. You've got one man cutting, you have got one man filling and one man wheeling out, and the fourth man making the tea.
The fourth man's making the tea, and sometimes there used to be a wee boy, or the cub as they called him, he come to the bog to make the tea.
He'd make the tea.
Or the wee girl either.
You didn't discriminate, in other words?
No, there was no sex discrimination.
No sex discrimination, no. Right. Hello there. Our left footer's better at cutting turf, do you think? Or
Oh, there used to be an old saying, he doesn't dig with the right foot.
that had a different kind of a meaning altogether.
It
Didn't
is.
it? No, it didn't refer to cutting turf.
No,
at the
it
time.
didn't refer to cutting turf.
Well, I assume you're a left footer
Oh,
here.
I'm a left footer.
If you were a right footer, you'd be working around the other road. Would that be?
Aye,
You start up there and work your way down.
I would be up here
Right,
and coming down.
and coming down.
But
Right.
where we are at the moment with the left-footed spades, we call that the lug of the spade.
The lug there. Right. These are so these are two left-footed
Them
spades. we
two
have.
left-footed spades.
Right. Okay. You want to keep the coat on you doing that?
Oh, I'll tell you, it's a cool day.
It's a cool day. All right. Okay. If you give me a demonstration, do you think? I mean, does it take a long time before you're fit to cut turf? I mean, could you pick it up in one day?
Oh, well, you could, but I was at that with my father when I was come home from school.
When you're only a cub.
Only a cub.
Right. Well, you could demonstrate it, and then I'll see how I can do it.
Well,
I mean, mind you, I'll be also a right footer trying to use a
Aye.
left-handed spade. So we'll
Aye.
have to-
Well, I'll get over here to that.
Okay.
There then followed some ill-tempered and fairly humiliating lessons in digging with the right foot, which are best not viewed by people of a normal disposition.
Okay. Is this nearly ready for wheeling away yet? Would you
Well,
say?
it depends how strong you are.
I'd say put a few more
If
on.
you're a strong man, you could take a bigger load.
Yeah. Well, take a few off there. Tumble back in again. This one was so overloaded, nobody else would do it, so I had to do it myself. Jimmy, any particular place I should dump? This here, just ram. No, I wasn't going to do that. Right. Here.
Well, don't tip it up on the top of the other row. Down there, Patrick. And
What?
Sian. Up the hill, up the hill. Up the hill.
Up towards you.
Up the hill.
Up the hill, right.
Ah. The same sort of leaving in the proper road.
What do you say, Jimmy?
I think the rows there, they're not.
What's wrong with the rows?
There's a bit too big of a gap, is there?
That's what he told me to do.
Oh, you leave a gap in them?
Oh, well, leave a wee bit of a space all right between them, you know. You have to leave room for spreading them.
You have to leave room for spreading,
Oh, I
Jimmy.
know that, but I used to leave the row fairly close, but then the space then between the rows.
Aye, between them. Aye.
Well, that's where he told me to put it now.
Well,
Didn't you?
Yes.
Do the thing right.
Oh, aye.
What do you think? I mean, I'm quite impressed with
Aye.
the look of those, you know.
Oh, them's good turf,
Not bad.
but they're better turf deep down.
Aye, well, it's not my fault, it's the turf.
No,
in
no,
other
it's the
words.
turf.
There's nothing I'm doing.
No, you're doing all right there. You're good for a beginner.
Thank you.
Put no more on that first 2 minutes.
I'll take one off if you like.
No, oh no, you can't do that.
No?
You make a mess of it.
Against the rules.
Oh.
He's particular, isn't he? No word of that tea.
It's coming up now. Why are going well there now?
You just get used to that, is that what you're saying to me? There's no way of keeping the turf smoke out.
You put in a
No.
bit of a stick into the water, into the teapot.
Put a stick into it. Ordinary piece of wee.
Just
Have you another egg there, Mickey? A man cutting turf could eat 2 eggs.
That's it.
Right, thanks, Mick.
I don't know if the amount of work I did justifies 2 eggs, but I just feel like 2 eggs. That's all right.
So I ate 3 eggs.
We're doing that 3.
Changes.
You were doing more work than I was doing.
Oh,
And you were also supervising.
Michael Haggerty it was who provided the tea and scones and boiled eggs and the turf bank. And it was the redoubtable Jimmy Maguire who provided the instructional wisdom of the ages. When we come back, a reminder of some of those lazy, hazy, crazy days of summer.
Lesser